This video falls under fair use. Fair use allows commentary, criticism, and reactions. What's up, back with another one. So today I'm going to show you this clip of Joe Budden reacting to Diddy. Check this clip out.
Is, as we know, at the end of this week, facing sentencing. The prosecutor in New York reportedly, at the time of this broadcast, I'm going to say this again, reportedly at the time of this broadcast, according to multiple news sources, has said the prosecutor requested 11 years. Some people have said, and we have not confirmed this yet, that the prosecutor is asking for 11 years, but that much of it be on probation, but still wants a sentence of 11 years. Others have suggested that the prosecutor wants a full 11 years in prison. It is unclear which, but the very idea of saying that you should be convicted of 11 years for this is the thing that people are talking about right now.
And that conviction would be towards the crime of
listening.
Okay.
And this is, again, where it gets complicated. One of the things that the prosecutor has pointed out is the victim impact statements. One of the victim impact statements comes from Cassie. It is a very, very, very powerful letter.
Really?
It is hard to read it and not be affected by it, to not be saddened by it, and to not feel for her in every way. Victim impact statements really do impact judges' decisions, and I can't imagine that this one won't. The question people have to ask, though, I think, is how do you weigh the impact that this person had on a victim that no one disputes when that's not the thing they were prosecuted for?
That's what I was going to ask.
That's and that's the moral and ethical dilemma. So because she's talking about all the ways that Diddy controlled her, all the ways that even when Diddy asked the question, it's really a demand and an order, and she knew how to read his moods, and she knew how to say she wanted to do X because he was demanding Y, and she knew the punishments that were coming from it. And of course, everyone has seen this video. The prosecutor also talked about the fact that, or suggested that Diddy's actions are consistent with people who got 10 or 11 years in prison. So when you look at all of that, you have to ask yourself, what is the right way to judge Diddy's appropriate sentence? I don't have an answer for you. That's for us to discuss, but I think that's at least the thing we need to think about. And I don't think it's as cut and dry
Y'all can speak
either
before
way.
I say something, because whatever I'm going to say, I'm probably most likely going to get on for. So y'all go ahead.
No, I think as Potters, we should not do that. We should either say it or not say it. But since you said
I'm going to still say it.
That's him trying to build suspense for what he got to say on some Potter emotions. He trying to cook.
Speaking
what I got to
I can't say that real
shatter.
Y'all nasty.
Come on, Steve.
Yeah, we shit on you.
don't need that, boy.
Calm down, Mr. October.
Nasty,
Yo, when you win one season, the other teams get the footage.
Yeah. Watching you play.
They get to
It get more
watch game
difficult, bro.
tape. Yeah, they put two defenders on you.
We too focused on me at this moment.
Just make him go
Let's
left.
focus back
You
on
made
the
it
topic.
by saying that statement.
Well, because I wanted to hear y'all out before I said anything.
So what you're saying is we weren't too focused on you and you made it about you.
Ooh, good playback.
I got it.
Wow.
Or maybe I was being a team player and passing the ball.
That wasn't a team player.
Being a team player is not saying I'm not going to say what I'm about to say.
Yeah, that wasn't.
It's just too deep.
let it.
We're excited to hear live. No, we want to hear what you got to say. We're excited.
Come on, Mr. October. What you got to say? You don't even got to say.
Morally, I agree with her victim impact statement should be considered, right? Morally.
Yeah.
But he's not on trial for that at the moment. Whatever she's speaking to in that.
Marcus said that.
It don't matter. They'll clip it up.
Let me.
That's what they
Mark
do.
just said.
Well, let me add.
The second place Potter.
Let me say something.
Yo, you still on your take from the second place?
Yeah.
You think that's wise?
Y'all playing dirty with that boy.
I think it would be a horrible statement to convict a man with 11 years for prostitution. If that's what he was convicted for, and that is the crime that we are speaking to, we're not talking to about anything else morally, anything else that we've seen, because all that we've seen, we thought were disgusting. We still think it's disgusting.
You know what he's convicted.
Well, I'm speaking to the law, right? So he was convicted of prostitution. Right. I don't think anybody up here would want to sentence someone to 11 years in jail for prostitution.
Here's what the prosecutor will say to you.
One of my prostitutes?
Nah, you gave him all this.
All right, yeah.
See?
Here's what the prosecutor would say to you. Part of what we have to determine is a person's ability to go back into society, a person's threat to society. That's what they would say to you. And that if this person is known for physically attacking people, for averting the law, for doing all these things that we might know factually, even based on Diddy's own and his lawyer's own testimony during the trial. Like, yeah, I did these things, but that's not what I'm on trial for. That's the argument, right? Should that impact, the prosecutor would say that should impact the sentencing because this person's not ready to go back right now. This person doesn't deserve to get right back into society because of all the harm that we know they're going to do based on what they did last month, last year, last decade, etc. I'm not saying I agree with that, but I'm just saying I don't think it's cut and dry. I'm inclined, so people don't say I don't give a take. My suggestion is people should not be prosecuted or sentenced more harshly because for crimes that they weren't convicted for. That's my general rule. Because the system has to be fair.
Let me just jump in real quick. This is a serious moment. With the court possibly handing down a sentence within 24 hours, a lot of people are wondering how hard the judge might go. Joe's reacting to the overall energy surrounding this case, and honestly, you can feel how intense it is. Let's hear more before jumping to conclusions.
Because while we might hate what Diddy did and hate Diddy, that could also be used for somebody else. That could be used for our uncles and our cousins and our aunties and our sisters when they get a relatively minor crime like shoplifting, but they say, yeah, but we know they were selling.
Right.
And then suddenly somebody's getting 2 years for a misdemeanor because of what we think or even know they were doing in the community. The system has to be able to prove its case and meet its burden. I don't think, to your point, that that's necessarily the moral answer. But the law and legal ethics is not the same as morality. And we have to make a distinction between sort of our own moral compasses and what legal ethics are.
And at this point, he's no longer on trial at this point. Everything is done. We've already decided morally how we view Diddy.
Right.
Morally, we look at him how we look at him.
Yeah.
He's been on trial in that sense for us from day one, and we kind of closed the book on that.
Yeah.
He piece of shit. He did what the he did. We don't with it, boom, boom. If he was on trial for that, slap him with whatever sentence you can give him because it's clear as day for us. All this other stuff, that the Mann Act and all the things that you could not get on him and you caught him on now let's go by the law. That's the fair way to go about this process at this point. We have to remove our moral stance at this moment and just deal with the outcome that we got dealt with. He did not get convicted of the Mann Act. He did not get convicted of this. He did not get He didn't get convicted on that. So whatever was provided by the prosecution wasn't enough to get the law, the people who were actually his jurors, to convict him on that.
Yeah.
So we have to now move from that process. Remove your moral feelings, remove all of your personal He's going to be sentenced. What is the fair sentencing for what he was convicted for?
So let me ask you a question then. How do we determine what a fair sentence is? Because if there's a guideline, 2 to 10 years, how do we decide who gets 2 and who gets 10?
Case study.
What's up? So what are my thoughts about this? Here's the thing. When a high-profile figure like Diddy is facing sentencing, it always brings a different kind of pressure. Not just for the person involved, but for the public, the media, and especially the courtroom. What Joe Budden is reacting to here isn't just the news itself, it's the weight of what it represents. Some folks think the judge might want to make an example out of Diddy, especially given how public this situation has become. And while no one knows what's really going to happen, the possibility of him receiving a couple of years has definitely been floating around. But again, it's important to stay grounded. We don't know what the sentence will be, and every case has its own layers and complexities. Joe seems to be analyzing the public reaction more than anything, and it's true that a lot of people are glued to this story. There's a mix of opinions out there. Some feel he's being targeted because of his status. Others believe the system might be trying to deliver a strong message. Either way, it's a heavy moment and one that's going to stay in the spotlight for a while. We'll have to wait and see how it plays out. Okay, so drop a comment, smash that like button, and make sure you subscribe for more videos like this, and I'll see you in the next video.